Good evening, everyone. Many Face Publishing, man. So yesterday, man, I woke up, turned to get up on. The first thing I hear is Steph Curry, should he be considered in the GOAT conversation? He reached the milestone of 4,000 made threes, which is one of the greatest achievements you can ever make in basketball. Damn near impossible achievement, man. So I guess every time somebody breaks a record or reaches a milestone, they in the GOAT conversation. That's what I'm assuming. So we're gonna skip him past guys like Tim Duncan, skip him past Kobe, Magic, Bird, Hakeem Olajuwon. You're seeing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain. We're just skipping past all these guys to throw him in this GOAT conversation. This is getting crazy, man. So, like I said, every time somebody breaks a record, they're in the GOAT conversation, or some type of milestone, they're in the GOAT conversation. Come on, man. Like, are we serious? So, this is my opinion, my personal opinion. I think that I think they want this is my opinion. I think they want Steph to get that fifth ring. They want Steph to carry the torch as the face of the league for at least maybe 1 or 2 more years. They don't have a face of the league. Really, they have LeBron as the face, but I think that the media has had enough. Why I say that? It's too many antics, man. And I think the last straw was the Stephen A. Smith confrontation. I think that was the last straw, man. I think that when he did that, that was, and Stephen A., you know, nobody really messed with Stephen A. As far as, you know, how he moved and stuff like that. You know, a lot of people are, I don't want to say against him, but don't like how he moved. Stephen A. really didn't do anything wrong. He's a journalist. I don't really want to say journalist, but he's a TV personality who gets paid to talk about sports. Now he's talking about politics. You know, he gets paid to, you know, talk on television, man. That's his job, to, you know, to break down and critique games and sports, no matter what sport it is. We tune in, and he gets paid to give his opinions on what took place the night prior or any type of breaking news. That's his job. So him saying, you know, pleading with you as a father, he now him highlighting it might not have been the greatest thing to do, but because he never said anything about it, and, you know, they kind of like, you know, didn't really touch on Bronny too much, except when he did something good, or if he went to the G League, you know, they didn't really, you know, they tried to stay away from it. Now when you say it, it's like he was holding it in, and plus all of the other last little bit of things he's been coming out saying about LeBron and his antics. So I think, you know, personally, I think the media's had enough of coddling and protecting this guy and bigging him up, you know, and he could do no wrong, and, you know, barely critiquing him. I think they had enough of that. I think, now you got the Dan Lebatons, who was totally against uh, uh, anybody having podcasts, like just regular people like me that speak their opinion, that have been fans of sport forever. We don't have an opinion, of course. We don't know anything. We're not in the locker room. We're not reporters. No one said I was a reporter, or any of these other guys are really claiming to be reporters. They speaking about the topics that y'all speak about their way. There's no, you know what I'm saying? Like, and what's the problem was, it was taking the attention away from what we hear. All we hear is the status quo. We hear the same old from the mainstream media. So now that we got independent people and now we got a platform where people can speak their mind and gain a following and things like that, it was taken away from the attention away from them, and now people started tuning them out because we got a different opinion and we getting what's really supposed to be said instead of what is edited to be said. So what I mean with the face of the league, right, is LeBron, he's been the face of the league for a while. But it's, his antics have, I think his antics don't sit well with a lot of people. I'm not a LeBron fan, of course. I don't know this man personally. We just talking sports, man. But it's pertaining to the sports, the antics, man, the quitting on the teams, all this stuff's been getting brushed under the rug and covered up by mainstream media. They don't really speak about, a lot of the things that he really does. The decision though was it. That was the straw that broke the camel's back right there. That right there, I think. Well, not the straw. I don't want to say, but that was the beginning of the end. Let me rephrase that. That was the beginning of the turnoff right there. Like, you're gonna do that, and you're gonna create a super team. When we look at the face of the league, right? And I made the video before about it, but I'll rehash it quickly. The NBA went through phase in the 70s where there was really, you had Kareem, you had Dr. J come out the ABA in the late 70s, mid to late 70s, whatever. And the league was like, it wasn't a lot of pizzazz going on in the league. Even though Dr. J was a dazzling player, you had George Gervin and all these guys, there wasn't really no rivalry in the championships. There was really nothing for them guys they weren't getting to the champion, to the top of the mountain. When you look at when Magic and Bird came in the league, they sparked a new generation of basketball. You had black versus white. You had Showtime Lakers, all the pizzazz and the dunks and fast break and all that, and then you had athleticism, and you had the Celtics slow grind pause. They gonna kill you with the half court offense. They had McHale in the post, Parrish. You got Bird shooting from anywhere. The killer instinct. You had Ainge toughness. Dennis Johnson, great perimeter defender. They had a great bench. So you had a good rivalry that brought the league back, and you had actually two faces of the league. You had Larry Bird in the East, Magic in the West. Something we were missing probably in the 70s. I wasn't living in the South, born in the 70s, but I was born in 76. So I'm born in the mid to late 70s. So I don't remember none of that stuff. I'm just going off the history. So Jordan comes in the league and takes the league by storm. No one's expecting Jordan to be what he is. And he comes in the league, gets his own shoe. The shoe becomes popular. He's flying in the air. He's doing things that bring attraction to the game. He changed the entire sports land. This is another thing that makes him the greatest to ever do it. He changed, not only, he was bigger than the sport of basketball, man. He just changed sports, man. So, that's hard to really recreate. And they didn't create that. He created himself, and he was just a marketing, it was just a marketing genius. Him, just the way everything played out. Air Jordans, Air Jordan. Now we got Air Jordans. You got people, wearing the Nike brand now. Stuff we see, I got on Nike. He has his own brand with the Jumpmans. His Jordan sneakers still popular to this day. Then that opened the door. Even though you had the Converse still, the Converse was more like it didn't pop like Nike did. The way Nike, their style was more basic. Like Nike had different designs. Like the sneakers just looked more comfortable and looked more like had more attraction to it. So with that being said, Jordan took the league to a different level. And when he started winning the championships, that's when the GOAT conversation changed. And then you have, and then he retires, he comes back, he wins 3 straight, he wins 72 games, he wins 3 straight. Then you have a young guy named Kobe Bryant who gets drafted and traded to the Lakers. And he's playing behind, 3 All-Stars. So maybe 4. I think they had Cedric Sabalas. I'm not sure. I know they had Nick Van Exel and Eddie Jones and Shaq. They ended up trading those guys after Kobe really showed out when he got the playing time. And he became a starter. And then they went and got Phil Jackson after the Bulls broke up their dynasty. And they started a new dynasty with the Lakers. But the problem with Kobe was, he was too much like Mike. And but he didn't have his own team to really get loose like Mike was able to get loose. So he had to work his way through ranks. Once he got in the ranks, now you playing with Shaq. It's hard for him to shine because Shaq was the man on the team. Shaq was the workhorse. So he was a dominant force. So now, they colliding because it's like, all right, Kobe wants to excel and he wants to show I'm that dude too, but he's trying to win championships and he understands the goal is to win the championships, but at the same time, he's like, yo, people thinking they comparing me to Mike, but I ain't doing this by myself. I got Shaq in the way, so he's in Shaq's shadow a little bit. You had Allen Iverson, but because he changed a lot of the culture of the game too, with the braids and he brought a lot of the hood to the game. He brought the hood to the game, Allen Iverson. But that's what kind of stopped him from being the face of the league. He brought too much hood to the game, right? So now, you had Ray Allen. Ray Allen had a nice game, man. Ray Allen, could shoot. He was jamming it on dudes. He could attack the rim. He had a good perimeter. He had a total game. But he wasn't able to get to the big dance, man. And he wasn't really like as explosive enough as like a Michael Jordan or like a Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant was viewed as like explosive as Mike, but you're in Shaq's shadow. Once Shaq is traded now you got LeBron coming in the league. He's the chosen one. So now, with that being said, they're manufacturing this guy to be the face of the league for the future. Because Tim Duncan, his game was too basic. Shaq was the darling, but because Mike came back, Shaq was kind of like, pushed out the way a little bit. Like, Shaq probably would have been facing. Barkley was looking at it, but Barkley, he didn't get past Mike. So now we're gonna fast forward to LeBron. When he comes in the league, they call him the chosen one right away. Now he's doing his thing. He's balling. He's got his team to the finals one year. That's when they started elevating him even more now. They started elevating him, a little bit around Kobe's level or beyond Kobe. And then Kobe goes on that tear, and he win 2 straight. Get to the finals 3 years in a row. They also get the Olympics. So now, Kobe was also, aside of him having problems with Shaq, he had that R-word allegation that, he wasn't sucking up to the media. So these are things that they that was hindering Kobe. They blamed him for Shaq leaving. They called him a selfish player, all this stuff. He had all these stigmas against him. But when he went to the Olympics, I think a lot of that changed. People got to know him a little bit more. Players used to probably view him as an asshole, probably liked him. And that's when the perception of him started to change. And then he won his championships, and then, he's getting older. But you got LeBron, who's in his prime. When he made that statement, the decision, that right there turned everybody off right there. Boom. That was a bad move, man. So that now the media, because they're in bed with the NBA and it's about the money, it got their hands tied. They can't really say nothing. But LeBron now, he rekindles himself by, even though the Miami thing didn't work out the way it did, the way it was supposed to. Here comes Steph Curry. Steph Curry was the babyface assassin, but he wasn't. They didn't think Steph Curry was gonna be this good. Now Steph Curry gets his championship against LeBron, but he don't really show out. Now had he showed out, he would have probably taken that face of the league from LeBron, but he didn't show out. The next year he comes back, he wins back-to-back MVPs, but then you don't show out. You let this guy come back, get the chase down, block on you, grill you. They come back from 3-1. You don't have a great series, and you lose the series. That right there hurt his chances. They were going to anoint him to be he was taking the mantle from LeBron. He win that. He doesn't win. He comes up short. Because I believe that they looked at Steph as the more marketable player, but because LeBron kind of bested him twice, even though he lost the first one, he had an excuse because he didn't have his horses with him. And he still was giving them fits. And Steph didn't have a great series. And then the 73 win team that blew the lead, and then you go and get KD. So now it's like Steph has to prove he can win on his own and really dominate on the big stage. So he finally gets that ring and dominates on the big stage, gets his finals MVP without a Durant. And it's because of him that they won. His play, and it elevates him more. But LeBron, who already had his fall, he's getting all these records still. And LeBron has gained enough power now in the media that he's controlling these narratives. And, I just think that, with that being said, all those things that LeBron did, the getting coaches fired, getting people traded, quitting on teams, the way he treats people, the way he bullies people in the media, all these things, the not playing in the All-Star game, all these things is catching up to him. And they really want to be done. This is my opinion. I just think they want to be done with LeBron. And because Ant-Man don't want the face of the league, John Morant stays in trouble and he's always hurt. Even though I love John Morant, he's a great player. They don't want the foreigners to be the face of the league because this is an American game. And they don't want to turn away, when you're looking up to somebody that's from overseas and you're growing up in the inner city, and because that's what most people play basketball is inner city kids or young black kids, that play ball. Majority of the league is brown people. It's gonna kind of like become a more European league. So I think they want the Europeans and they want the money from overseas, but I think they still want America to represent as the face, and they particularly want a brown face. That's what I think. Not trying to sound racist or push, because Jokic is nasty. Jokic is very good. So is Giannis. But why you think they're not the faces of the league? They're some of the faces, but they're not the face. They're not the marketing, key marketing strategy. They're not selling out arenas and things like that. They're looking for somebody to push in that direction. That has the ability, the explosiveness in their game, that people tune into, and LeBron had that. Steph has it, but Steph just kept coming up short against LeBron. And when it was just him without Durant, you know what I'm saying? You came up short against LeBron and in the playoffs a couple of years ago. So it's like, LeBron had that one up on him. But I think if he gets this, they want him to get this 5th championship. And I think that they're trying to stretch this face of the league thing out long enough to somebody, like maybe a Cooper Flag. Maybe they may change it. Because, Cooper Flag, he can ball, but they need a face. Zion was supposed to be it. Couldn't stay unhealthy. He couldn't stay healthy. So it's like, they don't really have a face of the league just yet. And I think they're looking for somebody that they can push that's American. And like I said, this is no disrespect to any other country in the world, because all those guys, some of those guys are the best players in the world, like Luka and Jokic and Giannis. Those guys ball, man. Even like Dirk Nowitzki, all those guys from overseas, man, can ball, man. But we're talking about, what I'm saying is because this is an American sport. I'm just visualizing, thinking how they're probably visualizing it, but they're not going to say it. But that's why they try to pass that torch. Look who they try to pass the torch to. They pass it to Jokic. Even though Jokic is the best player in the league, why isn't he the face? But I go to show you, it's not about really just who's the best. It's about who's the most marketable, as well. And you got to get on that big stage and perform, which Jokic has done. But is he marketable enough? That's the thing. But anyways, man, I'm out, man, because I gotta go. Many Fix Publishing, man. Hope you guys have a great evening, and guys stay safe out here, man. I'm out, man. Peace.